All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and also to their elders, the men that taught them. I pray the Lord have peace, blessings, and mercy upon the households of the hopeful elect. This is the brother Shema One from the Great Millstone Houston Church. And real quick, I want to come with a lesson touching on Jacob's trouble. You know, the time that we're in now is plain to see that who the target is. It's plain to see who the target is. Okay, Esau is coming, you know, with that spirit of violence, you know, with that spirit of hate, but he deems it as if, you know, the true problem are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But for those who have been paying attention, you know, is none other than the time of Jacob's trouble, like on the horizon. All right. So, you know, with that being said, I just want to get a few precepts, and I pray this lesson be edifying. So we'll start here. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 4. It says, "And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and Judah. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do you see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." And this is the thing we've been prophesying about. The message, the true message of the true prophets in the last days aren't going to be of peace and safety, and things are going to get better. As far as concerning this side, the message is, shit, we're pilgrims upon this earth. And if you understand what the word pilgrim means, it means someone seeking a holy place. So that place ain't here. All right. So in order to get to that holy place, what has to happen? Judgment has to take place, man. And what the Lord is about to do, it's about to be justified in the sight of the Lord. Because now, finally, vengeance is finna be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah's. The wickedness that Israel has been doing for so long, like it said in verse 4, "And these are the words that the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah spake concerning Israel and Judah." Salakia. Let me read it again. Jeremiah 30 and 4. "And these are the words that the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah." So these are the words, Lords, right? These are the words, Lords. These are the words of the Lord. And does the Lord come to the earth and talk face to face with man? No. What does he do? He tells the prophets before these events take place. So the Lord was giving a warning. Look, a time of trouble is coming, trembling and fear and no peace. All right. Real quick, let me just read it in Amos. This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. It says, Amos 3 and 7. Hold on. Start at verse 6. It says, "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?" Just like we read in Jeremiah 30 in verse 4. The Lord said, hey, look, concerning his words, it's going to be trembling and fear and no peace. All right. And what does Jake do whenever they hear the prophets? See, I'm jumping the gun. But verse 7 will say it. But what does Jake do? What do the Israelites do whenever they hear, you know, the prophets out prophesying these things? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city? That's the trumpet who the Lord is using. Okay? What I was just talking about. The prophets. Let's get that real quick. This is hold on. This is Isaiah chapter 58 and 1. It says, "Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins." All right, Amos 3 and 6 again. "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So getting that to go into Jeremiah chapter 30 in verse 4 and 5, the Lord gave the warning. He sent the prophets out. Okay, before the time came, what the Lord was talking about, the prophets gave the warning. Okay, giving Israelites a fair warning before destruction comes, and we've done it. We've been doing it. The apostles been doing it, and now you're starting to see the doors of mercy closing in. According to prophecy, whenever you don't see the Israelites, the true prophets, on the highways and the hedges no more, whenever there's a famine of hearing the word, you should know the floods are about to freaking come rushing in, just like, you know, paralleling it during the times of Noah. Might have to get that next, but let me finish this point. So it says, verse 6, Jeremiah 30 and 6, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. That's how bad of a time it's going to be. Whenever the Lord said trembling, fear, and no peace, that's not just lightly experienced from the average person that hasn't been getting built up and prepared for this type of battle coming. You know, having faith and getting built up in the scriptures and enduring and, you know, suffering patiently. You know, these things play a major effect on, you know, resisting and, you know, maintaining with your integrity in these times. The average Israelite ain't gonna make it, as we keep reading. So it says, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Why it look like men are about to give birth? Why does it look like men out here about to give birth? Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Why does every man out here look like a bitch? You know, suffering, you know, something. Every woman that has a child goes through some type of pain. It ain't no woman just to pop a damn baby out just with a poker face on. No, you experience the pain, and most of the times whenever you try to how they do with the damn, what is that shit called? I can't think of it. That the women get so they won't feel the pain. The epidural. Yeah, that fucking epidural shit. Even the women that I know, or stories I know from pregnancies, the women that try to get the epidural, that shit don't even happen. That shit don't help. You still feel the pain. That's why, like, whatever outlet or whatever source or whatever comfort anybody is gonna try to find to take that pain away is not. Niggas are gonna be just like, you know, women in travail. They're gonna feel that shit. And we talking about men here. So how much more women and how much more little children? Okay, it tells you, what is that, Ezekiel 9 and 4, the Lord ain't sparing nobody, old and young, little children included. But it says, verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. And the Lord is showing us right now that the spirit in these Edomites are roused up to come in and show you exactly what the Lord meant in Revelation chapter 12 and 12. Let's get there. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down upon you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And this is the focus. This nigga is finna come down sparing none, like it tells you in the book of 2nd Esdras. He's not gonna spare nobody. But the primary focus is you Israelites. Why? Why you Israelites? Real quick. Those that don't believe in the testimony, those that don't believe in these prophecies, those that don't believe in the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, those that mock and scoff and want to talk all the trash, right? The day is coming where the Lord is going to use our enemies The Lord is going to use our enemies to fulfill prophecy, to whoop your ass, man. All right. And this is forwarded to the 2/3 of the nation of Israel in America, first and foremost. Jake is going to catch it worldwide, but it's going to be hell like no other out here in America, man. All right. But Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse 5. Let me read that in the NLT. You know, this is the reason why the Lord is going to send that type of judgment. Jacob's trouble, a time like never before. Why? Hold on, let me go to it in my phone. Jeremiah 15 and 5 in the NLT. All right, here we go. Jeremiah 15 and 5 in the NLT, it says, who will feel sorry for you, Jerusalem? Who will weep for you? Who will even bother to ask how you are? And look at it right now. What just happened in Chicago? How Jake got ran through, getting snatched out the apartment complex naked. You know, nobody showed no type of mercy, no type of pity, or, you know, for you so-called, you know, people who believe in all of these other doctrines and philosophies and these religions. Where are these niggas to help out? You black African niggas, you African American black culture, where the fuck the Africans at to help your black ass out, man? Where are the where's the help? Going back to the scripture, it says, who will feel sorry for you, Jerusalem? Who will weep for you? Who will even bother to ask how you are? Hey, where's Esau's hand at now? You know, the same people you trim your ways for, where are they? They don't give a damn about you. You have abandoned me and turned your back on me, says the Lord. Therefore, I will raise my fist to destroy you. I am tired of always giving you another chance, and that's the times we in. Now you finna see a time of Jacob's trouble that there's not gonna be no escaping or no comfort in those times. You know, to turn the tone down. No, the Lord is finna show you what he meant. He was not playing. That's why we take this serious, because we fear the Lord. That's why we persuade men. This is a serious time that we are in, man. If the Lord gives you over into the hand of your enemy and is no defense for you, you are finna experience what is written inside of these prophecies, man. Therefore will I raise my fist to destroy you. I am tired of always giving you another chance. And that's the point. Let's see. It says verse 7. Well, that's the point. Let me go back. So Jeremiah chapter 30 and 7 again. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it. And the he that shall be saved out of it is who? That's the elect. Okay, that's the remnant that's spoken about in these scriptures. Not all Israel. Daniel, the 12th chapter tells you, you know, those that's found written in the book. Okay, but real quick, let me see. I'm just thinking how, let me stay in Jeremiah real quick. How these things are taking effect, man. These things are getting stirred up and put in motion because what the Lord has the prophets doing. This is Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 7. It says, verse 9. Jeremiah 1 and 9. It says, then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. And this is what's taking place right now. All right. A understanding prophecy simultaneously as Esau reaches his end. You know, the point of it ain't no such thing as getting time back and prolonging your kingdom or your rule. We're in the time of the end. like it says in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. But at the same time as Esau's approaching his end, you are going to see, matter of fact, it tells you in 2nd Ezra, you're going to see troubles and dangers increase in the earth. All right, so we're in a time of a nation getting pulled down, thrown down. You know, at the same time, amongst the house of David getting built up, that's what's getting built up. Okay? The kingdom of Israel is about to be restored. That's what's getting built up at the same time. But understanding, ain't no such thing as Jake escaping judgment. That's why if you listening to Israelite camps telling you there's no such thing as a time of trouble coming before the kingdom, or you out there listening to a damn pre-rapture tribulation, you have been fooled and lied to. Because the scriptures tell us, let me go to it. In 2nd Ezra, this devil is going to go down, with great wrath. But before he's taken out of the way, mass judgment is going to take place. All of the wicked shit that this man has done, and all of the wicked acts the Israelites have done following this man are going to be, judgment is going to be required for that. There's a recompense required. But hold on, let me see what I'm looking for. All right, right here. 2nd Ezra chapter 4. 2nd Ezra chapter 4 and verse. Matter of fact, let me start up. 2nd Ezra chapter 4 and verse 26. It says, Then answered he me and said, The more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel. For the world hasteth fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in the time to come. In the current world, or the current age that we're in, is to its end. Look at the events taking place, man. The last few major prophecies that are written to happen, all of these things are in effect. The things Yahushua said, earthquakes, rumors of wars, pestilence, famines, that's happening now while you got the MOTB in effect. You got World War III, brewing up in effect. All of these things are taking place in these times. And on top of that, you see Jacob about to get their asses handed to him, like the Lord said was going to happen in Jeremiah chapter 30 and 7. Also in Daniel chapter 12 and 1. So now we're in those days. A time, that season where it's here now. So that lets us know, damn, hey, we that much closer to the end. So we got to continue to hold on and remain faithful, man. We are in some serious times. But it says, 2nd Ezra chapter 4, and continuing on in verse 27, it says, For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. All right, and real quick, the Lord always had a limit when it came to certain things. Hey, just like in the days of Noah, what did the Lord say? Real quick. Just like in the days of Noah. Where is it? Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5, it says, And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil continually. All right, so the Lord seeing, how corrupt and how wicked it is on the earth, and what happened, judgment followed. Let's see, second Ezra, Genesis 7. Real quick, see, before the flood came, listen to this, real quick. Genesis 7 and 1. And the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteousness, or for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. So the Lord told Noah to enter into the ark with his family, right? Verse 4, let's just jump down. It says, For yet 7 days will I cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. So before the flood came, the Lord told Noah 7 days prior, get in the ark. Him and his family was in the ark 7 days before the flood came. And I just wanted to get that because earlier, I believe I made mention, whenever the prophets ain't on the streets prophesying no more, it made me think about whenever Noah wasn't out there prophesying no more, he was covered, and it's pretty much like the Lord had it sealed. Even whenever the doors of the ark shut, the Lord didn't open it back up for people to come in. It was over with. Whenever he was done prophesying, Jake wanted to continue in their everyday life as if Noah was giving a false message, as if trouble wasn't coming, as if a moment of fear and perils and dangers wasn't coming. Jake thought it was time to fucking bullshit and party, right? And not take his words serious, which were the Lord's words. But they got caught up in the flood, like it tells you. When the flood came, it was too late. But what was I getting in here? Salakia. I think that was it. But anyway, because let me finish. Genesis 7 and 21. Let me just read the judgment. Just showing you the Lord wasn't playing. All right. Noah and his family entered into the ark. Then the judgment came. Everybody on the outside was done. Genesis 7 and 21. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowls and of cattle and of beasts and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. All in whose nostrils was the breath of life, all that was in the dry land died, and every living substance was destroyed which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle and creeping things and the fowls of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And in this generation, in this time we in, the ark is the chariots, man. But I just wanted to get that. The Lord wasn't playing whenever, he beheld the wickedness. That was the limit, and the Lord removed his prophet. Because don't act like Noah wasn't prophesying about the wickedness that was going on. It tells you that in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, Noah was a prophet. And the Lord had his limit, and he sent judgment. Just like the days we in. Jake is finna get their asses handed to him, but a remnant shall be spared, and you heathen aren't finna go unpunished at all. But let me go back to 2nd Ezra 4 in verse 28. Let me hit verse 27 again. 2nd Ezra 4 and 26. Then answered he me and said, the more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel. For the world hasteth fast to pass away, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. Understanding the things that are promised unto us. Hey, if he that endureth until the end, the same shall be saved. What does that mean? That promise, so to speak, what does that can consist of? May the Lord sparing you from the hands of your enemies. You being delivered from the second destruction. All right. Then the benefits that come with just being an Israelite, but how much more one that's going to be, found worthy to escape. Righteous in the eyes of the Lord, which means you have faith in Yahweh Shai. Romans, the 3rd chapter, tells you the righteousness that's required from the Lord. You better have faith in his son who sacrificed his life for you, who went on that cross. You better have faith in Yahweh Shai, man. That's righteousness without the law. All right. But let me finish this. So it says, for this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. So due to the evils and the wickedness going on, the unlawfulness, the ungodliness in the earth, destruction is going to follow. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, all of the evil that's just spread throughout the earth, man. And in the evils that befall the nation of Israel. Yeah, we're cursed due to what we did, but the wicked aren't finna be justified at what they have been doing for us, so, for ages and generations. It says, if that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, especially America, Babylon the Great, this place is going to pass away. Then cannot it come that is sown with good. All right. What we hope for, what we, are patiently waiting and suffering for, the evils have to come first. Then we go see, the kickback, so to speak. All right. I had more, but I gotta go. Hold on, let me see. Where's my phone? Let me read this real quick. Genesis 18 and 23. Whenever the Lord was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, seeing the wickedness going on in there and what was going to happen due to that destruction. Genesis 18 and 23. And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Whenever the Lord had it set, and what happened? The Lord delivered Lot. It said just Lot. All right. Also, well, I went it there. Jake is about to experience, judgment like never before. And we can see that spirit, being roused up by these Edomites, in the days we're currently in right now. And understanding the only way to escape is if the Lord, allowed you to remain faithful. And a lot of people don't even have faith in the Lord. A lot of Jake don't even know the Lord, man. Don't believe in the Lord. Real quick, I'll end it with this. The only way out, man. Hey, matter of fact, it tells you in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, you're going to be saved through works and faith. See, the time is coming whenever the prophets are removed off the street corners, going back to that. But Jake is going to experience trouble like never before. It tells you in Proverbs, the 1st chapter, the Lord is gonna laugh at the day of your calamity. The Lord ain't wasting his time. The word of the Lord ain't finna return unto him void. Everything that we've been prophesying, starting from, the apostles on down, is taking place right before our eyes on the earth. It's undeniable. All right, but let's see what the scriptures say. 2nd Ezra. Hold up. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 in verse. Damn, hold on. I'll start at 8. 2nd Ezra 8 in verse. Damn. I'm going to just jump. Verse 50, it says, for many great misery shall be done to them in the later time. Salakia. 2nd Ezra 8 and 50. For many great misery shall be done to them that in the later time shall dwell in the world. Why? Because they have walked in great pride. Let's jump down. It says, verse 55, and therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. A lot of people are going to experience this. It says, why? Verse 56, for when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. And think about the times we in. Yahweh Shah, how liberties is here in full effect due to what Yahweh Shah did, man. Grace and liberty, that's in Yahweh Shah. All right, and people despise the law of the Lord because they twist it and say what? The law is done away with. The law is done away with, and they just go on about their life just living so wicked and still being proudful and saying, well, I didn't sin. Just thinking of how a lot of Israelites are today. That Jesus juice spirit. But it says, for when they had yet taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous. The prophets out there giving a warning. It tells you in 2 Chronicles 36 and 15, the Lord sent his prophets out early, but the people despised and mistreated and rejected the prophets until the Lord came down on them with great wrath, right? So it says, just like we read in Genesis, the Lord told Noah and his household, enter into the ark. Everybody else got left on the outside. Why? Because they despised the righteous at the time. They despised what Noah had to say. It says verse 58. Verse 57 again. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous and said in their heart that there is no God, yea, in that knowing they must die. All right. Let's jump to chapter 9, and this is it. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 8. I'll read 7. It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. It's important to understand this truth. It's important to believe in the correct doctrine, the correct testimony. The words of the patience of the Lord is important to know, because the scriptures tell you in Revelation 3 and 10, you will be kept from the hour of temptation. Why? Because you kept the word of the Lord's patience. So back in 2nd Ezra 9 and 7, and everyone that shall be saved, being saved, you're going to be spared and protected from the impending danger. Nobody is saved yet. All right. And shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Faith is the recipe. That's the glue to the whole thing. You have to believe. And you're going to have works to back up your faith. You're going to show what you believe in through how you carry yourself. Verse 8, it says, shall be preserved from the said perils, the dangers, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. It's already predestinated. All right. It ain't no sneaking in. That's why it ain't no such thing as Edomite or no other nation being saved. As far as salvation's concerned, only the Israelites. The Lord said he is going to save his people from their sins. That's not everybody, any other nation. It's specific. And as far as literally being saved from the second death, that only includes a remnant. A remnant shall be saved. Okay, it tells you that in Revelations, the 7th chapter. But let's keep reading. It says, verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. It's gonna be beneficial for you to have did your diligence in rehearsing the Lord's righteous acts. That shows you that you love the Lord. It tells you that in the scriptures. And that's what this world twists. They teach you, oh, love is just to do whatever. No, when you read the Bible, let's see what love is. Real quick. Damn, my Bible is ripped. Hold on, let me type it in. Where my phone at? Or I'll just quote it. The scriptures say, if you love me, keep my commandments. Okay, and the Lord is going to have compassion on those that keep his commandments. Now, I'm going to just read it. One in the New Testament, one in the Old Testament. Real quick. If ye love, keep commandments. All right, that didn't work. All right, hold on. Shalak. All right. First in the Old Testament, this is Deuteronomy chapter 5 and 10. It says, I'll start at 9. It says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, speaking about other gods, false idols, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, going into reincarnation, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. If you say you love the Lord, you'll keep his commandments, man. Just, it ain't no breaking that down. But let's go to the New Testament, because Yahweh Shai reiterated it. John chapter, let's see. Let's hit this one first. John 14 and 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. Where did he get that from? His father. Let's jump down to verse 21. John 14 and 21. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him and will manifest myself to him. Last one, John 15:10. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments. Yahweh Shai is showing you ain't nothing changed. You know, the how this world iterates love, it ain't how the Lord looks at love. You know? Simply and plain, John 15:10. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. You know, so I'll end it there. I pray this lesson was edifying to the Lord's elect. And Lord willing, till next time I say shalom.